Hello everybody and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be working towards actually creating the function inside of our user's page provider, which is going to allow us to create a chat inside of our Firestore database. So with that said, let's get into it and let's see how we can do it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to my user's page provider and I'm going to create a new function here, and I'm going to say that this function isn't going to return anything, and it's going to be called create chat, and then it won't take anything in, and it'll be an asynchronous function. So the first thing that we need to do before we can do anything is add a try catch block, because this function does perform some operations that might not complete successfully. And then I'm going to, for the catch statement, add some error statements saying error creating chat, and then print the error, and then we're ready to start coding. So before we can begin calling the actual part of code that is going to be responsible for creating the chat, we need to actually collect all of the data, which is going to be used by our create chat function inside of our database service class to create a chat. Information that we require is one, what members are we going to be talking with, as well as other related attributes for our chat, such as if it's a group chat or not, and we'll do all of that right now. So I'm going to create a list of string, and this is going to be a list of member ID, so the members of our chat, and it's going to be equal to members ID, and it's going to be equal to our underscore selected users, so whatever our selected users were, and then I'm going to map them. So I'm going to take each selected user and I'm going to map the list into a new list, and I'll take each user by doing underscore user, and then I'll return that underscore user dot UID, and then I'll just take all of the things that are returned and convert this iterable to a list and add a semicolon at the end, and that's pretty much all we need to do. But if I just send this members list, then this members list is not going to include the current member that we are as well. So I need to include ourselves as well into the list, because our members list contains all of the members that we're talking to, as well as ourselves as well. So I'm going to do members IDs, and I'll do member IDs instead of do member IDs, and I'll do member IDs dot add, and then I'm going to add our auth dot user dot UID and add a semicolon at the end. So now that we have a members list, the next thing that I'm going to do is that I'll define a Boolean, which is going to be whether this is a group chat or not, and that is going to be determined by checking if our selected users dot length is greater than 1. So if we selected more than one users to chat with, that means that it's going to be a group chat, else it's not going to be. Then what we'll do is that we'll create a document reference, and I'm going to call this underscore doc, and it's going to be optional, and I'll say that we're going to do await, and then I'm going to do underscore db dot underscore database dot create chat, and our create chat function takes in a map. So let's create that map now, or the data that is going to be added to Firestore document that is now going to be created inside of our chat collection. So what are we going to be adding? Well, we need to add the isGroup property by doing is underscore group, and then setting that equal to underscore isGroup. With this, we'll also have the is underscore activity property, and I'll set that to be false. And finally, we'll have members, 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 and that'll be equal to underscore members IDs list, and do Alt-Shift-F commands save. Doing this will do everything for us, but now what we have to do is that once we've created the chat, is that we need to go from our users page to our chat page, so now we can start typing in the chat, and that's going to happen automatically. So once we've kind of created a chat, and I'll add a comment here saying create chat, we need to navigate to our chat page. So navigate to chat page, and for that what we'll do is that we'll first create a list of chat users. So these are going to be the members of our chat, and I'll do underscore members, and then I'm going to set that to be an empty list. Then what we have to do is that for every UID in our members IDs, we need to go and get the user from Firestore and then return an instance of chat user for them before we can create a chat page instance, which is required by our chat page. So it all seems a bit complex, but we'll take it one step at a time. So we need to get the members first. So I'm going to create a variable which will store a document snapshot, and I'm going to call this user snapshot, snap and then shot, and then I'll set that equal to await, and then I'm going to do database dot get user, and then the user that we're going to get is going to be the user with the specific UID. Now that we've gotten the UID, the next thing that we're going to do is that we have to get the user's data. So I'll create a variable that will keep that, and I'm going to call this underscore user data, and then I'm going to set that equal to our underscore user snapshot dot, and then call the data function on it, and then from there I'll cast that as map string comma dynamic and add parentheses at the end. Now that we have access to the user, I'll also take the user data and I'll add the UID key to it, and I'll set that to be the underscore user snapshot dot ID. You gotta also use just the UID variable here as well. Both things are the same. And then what I'm going to do is that I'll take the members list and I'm going to add to it our chat user instance, and I'm going to use the factory method from JSON to create that chat user, and I'm going to pass the user data to it, add the semicolon and add the comma, and do Alt-Shift-F command save. And it's giving me an error because of the fact that I didn't have to add these parentheses, and do command save. So now that we have a list of members, we are ready to create our page. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say that we're going to have a chat page variable, and I'm going to call is underscore chat page, and I'm going to set it equal to what? I'm going to set it equal to a new instance of our chat page. And as we all know, our chat page requires us to give it a chat. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create a new instance of chat inside of here, and it requires us to pass it in some IDs. So firstly, we need to pass it the ID of the chat. So for that, what I'll do is that I'll take the document that was just created here, the new chat. So I'm going to do underscore doc, and then I'll do dot ID. And that's pretty much all we have to do. And since the document reference might be optional, I'm going to add an exclamation mark here to indicate that we for sure know that the document will exist. With this, I also have to provide it the current user's ID, which can be accessed through auth.user.uid. We also have to give it a list of members, which we had now created, so we can pass members to it. We have to give it a list of messages. Since this was a new chat, there are no messages, so I'm going to add an empty list. For activity, what I'm going to do is that I'll set that to false because we know it's a new chat, so no activity. And then for the group, what I'm going to do is that I'll pass in the isGroup property. And then I'm going to add these brackets, add a semicolon as well, and do command save. And now, once we have the chat page actually created, the last thing we have to do is just navigate to the chat page. So for that, I'll use my navigation service, and I'm going to say navigate to page, and then I'm going to pass in my chat page to it, add a semicolon at the well, do Alt-Shift-F command save. So with this done, what I'm going to do is that I'll end this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we're going to be performing some more steps to kind of refine the process of creating the chat. And then ultimately our goal is going to be able to select some users and then click a button here, which we haven't added yet, and then navigate to our chat page so we can start chatting. So with that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.